Hey, you guys, my name is Kylie Davila. I'm a senior Ruby ambassador for those of you that don't know me. And hopefully, if I don't know you or haven't met you, I'll be meeting you next week at convention. So I'm going to be talking about attraction marketing tonight. And I kind of wanted to start out with originally when I made like the title, we were talking about it and the attraction marketing. It was just that, like, basically, how do you market yourself to attract people? How do you become like a magnet and pull people in? And also the whole aspect of how you're portraying yourself, how you're showing up is what you're going to attract as far as like people, like what you're putting out there is like what's coming in, the law of attraction, right? People kind of tend to gravitate towards people who are like them. And that can be in all kinds of areas of life. So when I started kind of researching it, because I do have a geeky side to me, I like to research things. I like to look up definitions, stuff like that. Alexis on my team, she's really great at that. She loves that stuff too. But anyways, when I started looking into it, I was like, whoa, attraction marketing is like a whole thing. And I learned so much about it, and it added a lot of value to me. And it really does play into our business and basically what I was after, but it was like so in depth and very eye-opening. So that's where I'm going to kind of start and then give you guys some points to like take away. So hopefully I'll be able to share with you guys like what I learned and it'll be useful. So I want to start with what the definition is of attraction marketing. And it is a first person narrative that aims to show the positive impact of a product or service in a credible way. So again, it's a first person narrative that aims to show the positive impact of a product or service in a credible way. So it's using your personal experience to tell your brand's story. And like 3 things you can take away, like words from that, is first person, positive, and story. Those 3 things you want to use when you're showing up on your social media, because a lot of times when we get started, and it's okay if you, like, even for me, I look at posts that I made a long time ago and I'm like, ew, that was awful. Like, I cringe, you guys. So it's okay when you first start out, if you're learning and all of that, but don't forget to like still show up and tell your story. Like, this is why it's so important for you guys to stay true to you, to be authentic, to be 100% you, because it is your story. Like, we don't want to just tell everybody about Plexus and hey, here's all the ingredients and all that. Yes, there is a time and place, and like that can play into the whole ratio of personal posts to your Plexus posts, stuff like that. But you really want to like remind yourself, okay, how can I show them how I'm like incorporating this into my life? How is this adding value? How is this changing my life? How has it changed my health? That is what you want to stay. I don't know if y'all can see that fly. It is so distracting. That is really, how do they laugh? I swear I said that before the call started. Anyways, okay. So just remember to tell your story and show how you're incorporating the products into your lifestyle. Okay, so I always like to say, find a mentor, find a diamond, find people you look up to in this business, and you can get inspiration and motivation, but don't leave you behind. Like, don't try to become that person, because that's when it gets hard, right? When you don't remember how you're supposed to show up. But if you just stay true to you, it's easy. You don't have to be anybody else but you. And remember, like, God created you specifically, like, on purpose, with the purpose. You're the only you in the whole universe, and that is your superpower. Like, you have those unique talents, passions, like the things that you love, the weird quirks about you. You have those on purpose. Like, God created you that way. So just hone in on that. And also, like, by being real and authentic, that is what builds the trust and respect with your audience. Like, that is where it all starts. That is what actually makes them open to learning more. Then when they feel like they can trust and respect you, that is when they're like, it doesn't matter if it's just Plexus, or maybe you made a great post because you learned something. Like, that right there is what opens the door for them to receive whatever you're posting. So just remember that. So where I want to start before I give you guys the 4 points is I really want to go over personal growth. And I know we throw that word around a lot because of our business, but if you think you can get by without doing personal growth, you cannot. Like, this is where you find yourself stuck. Like, I have used that word before, stuck, and I don't remember where I heard it, who told me, I don't know, but they said, hey, if you ever find yourself stuck in your business, go do personal growth. Because if you're doing the personal growth, you won't feel stuck. That is like where everything else stems from. Like, this is the foundation, and without it, you're going to have nothing to build on. And so just remember, personal growth flows into all the other areas of your business. So you can only go as far as you grow. I wrote that down. I always think about that. You know, you always say you can't pour from an empty cup. Imagine yourself like a little teapot that's like pouring into your team, pouring into your audience, pouring into your family. If you're not filling it up, you're going to be dry. You're going to be empty, and you're going to, like, that's where like fear sets in. That is where you feel burned out. That is like a really bad place to be. So just remember to always fill yourself up first and foremost, so that you can continue to pour into other people. So personal growth. And I also wanted to mention, like, there are 4 areas of personal growth, which is physical, mental, spiritual, and social. And so sometimes your personal growth may look a little different. Like, mine may look different than Natalie's. There are some non-negotiables, like with our team, that we need to be doing, like book club, stuff like that. But the same thing that fills me up may not be the exact same thing that she's doing, right? And so just keep that in mind. There are some similar things on the team that we're going to be doing, but also go out and find things that you love that are going to fill you up. So, okay. The first thing, like when you start to really dig into personal growth, ask yourself, what can I teach others? And then what's working for you in your life that you can share? So like, that's the first thing that I have. So what can I teach others? What's working for you in your life that you can share? So when you start to listen to a podcast, read a book, whatever the personal growth is that you're doing, share. Like, maybe you tried something new and it worked, and you're like, wow, I know there's somebody out there struggling with this exact thing, and this is going to teach them whatever, and they're going to love it, and they're going to be like, wow, thank you so much. Like, what does that look like? You can also teach yourself, right? You apply what you're learning, and sometimes you figure out, hey, that doesn't work for me. But that is where you learn to like get to new levels for your team, for yourself, for your family, all of the things. So that is something, when you want to show up, ask yourself. The second thing, which kind of comes off of teaching others, but that's adding value. And we say by default, if you're not adding value, you're automatically subtracting. And that's really powerful. Like, I never want to subtract from anybody. Like, I want to add to I want to add to people's lives. I want somebody to be like, wow, thank you so much. So keeping in mind, adding value. And when I was doing my research about this whole attraction marketing, it talked about, like, the adding value part is called inbound marketing. And I wanted to like read this off because I was like, this is so good. So inbound marketing is a good example of attraction marketing. For example, if I've received a ton of high value content from a brand, this could include blog, ebook, webinars, then I am more attracted to that brand when it comes time for me to purchase a product or service that aligns with theirs. So Home Depot, I have read their things before. I've never noticed this, but this is what they do. They do inbound marketing. So Home Depot is a good example of attraction marketing. The home supply company offers weekly classes and DIY workshops on how to use their equipment, offering, oh, hang on, somebody's unmuted.
It's falling on my hand. Oh, is it me?
Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, now the fly is like getting me. Are we good? Okay, perfect. Okay, so they offer weekly classes and DIY workshops on how to use their equipment, offering free value to prospects without forcing them to purchase anything. But these weekly classes, they build loyalty and trust, which makes their products or services more attractive. And guess what? Like when you want to go do a project, or if you see something you really like where are you going to go? You're going to go to Home Depot. You've like seen what they posted, you have trust with them. And so I was like, whoa, that is so good. So like if you're doing this for other people, if you're constantly adding value, if you're constantly making like deposits, then when it comes time to withdraw, like they're going to be open to receive, they're going to trust you. And so I just thought about that and I was like, man, that is so good. So always remember to add value, always. So the third thing that I have that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and actually this was not in any of the research, but I just remember, I think it was Brendan Bouchard, I think maybe, but anyways, it talks about the competence loop. Or is it competence, whatever, competence loop. I think that's how you say it. But basically it's saying like, we all start out at ground zero. Even for me, you guys, I would have never envisioned myself leading any type of call, any public speaking, anything like that. Like I remember speech in college. I was so scared giving a speech about, I don't even know what. And my voice was shaking. I just like literally thought it was the most impossible thing. And so if you ever look at any leader, any successful person, and you automatically assume that it's just natural for them, I want you to know, like, this is not natural for me. Like, this was not something I was born with. Maybe God put like talents or gifts in me, but if I had not decided to do personal growth and start to grow this skill and literally fall flat on my face, like start at ground zero, y'all, my speech was bad. Like, I think I didn't fail it, but pretty sure she just had like compassion on me. I was so nervous, y'all. But if you look at any successful person, just know that they have literally started from ground zero. And then as you start, you build confidence in yourself, which then like allows you to do something more. So it like grows, right? So you start at ground zero, everybody starts out, everybody enrolls, whether it was $1, $39.95, $9.95, however much you paid for this business, we all started there. We've all hit silver, senior silver, gold, and like so on and so forth. So just know that. And right here, I have the competence loop. So we all recognize that our success accelerates when we are confident. The reason is simple. Without confidence, we revert to fear. And when we are fearful, we don't take any action. And I've been there. I'm sure you guys have been there. Maybe it was in a situation prior to Plexus, but just being aware, like, in order to not give into your fear, you have to start with the personal growth. You have to just start out by saying yes and doing the scary things. And then that's what builds your confidence. So that is what I had here on the competence loop, basically just telling you guys, whatever you're learning in personal growth, to really apply it, even if it's scary, even if you think that you're terrible at it, it's fine. Fail forward over and over again. And that's what's going to make you successful. And so the last thing that I have here is just a really big reminder to always stay positive. No matter what you're sharing, stay positive. Like there's so much negative in the world and noise and people arguing about politics or this and that. Like, it's not saying that you can't have a voice or you can't have beliefs or you can't stand up for what you believe in, but people really need a space to like come. Like, you need to be a lighthouse for people, a breath of fresh air. Like, you want people to be attracted to you, like, wow, I really appreciate this content, or the way she shows up, or her page, I feel encouraged, I feel inspired. And so just always ask yourself, before you post anything, is this positive? Like, is this something that is going to really encourage somebody today? Or are you going to like really pull people down? And so always being mindful about being positive, because it's so important. And so, yeah, those are my 4 points. And then it kind of ties into what I was saying originally, which was my goal in attraction marketing. How do we pull people in? How do we attract people to us? What kind of people are we attracting? Like, if you apply all of these things, you're going to be attracting the right people. You're going to be attracting the hard workers. Even kind of just sharing personally about me, I've been in a really hard season with a bunch of changes. Like, we're moving and there's been a lot of things happening. And it all started, like with a death in my family at the beginning of May. But I will tell you guys that, like, even through your struggles, you can still show up. You can still add value, I guess, in a way. I was thinking, man, I don't know how to show up right now. I don't want to take away from anybody. But when you actually share your struggles and you're open and you're vulnerable, but you show people how you're overcoming, not like, oh, woe is me, life is so hard, like all of the things. If you actually show how you're overcoming things, or you're being a victor, then you're still adding value. I just didn't realize it. And I'm like, wow, people need to see that side too. Just be open, honest, show how you're overcoming the things. So that's pretty much what I have for you guys. I hope that it helps some of you. And yeah, I know we have like a few minutes to our next call, so I'm going to end this recording.